is the environment right here for creativity, or is it still very focused on logic? I mean, if you look at the recent Yale-NUS situation where it's been they're going to disband that whole thing. What does that say? What sort of signals is that sending out? I mean, Michelle, for you as a student, what are your thoughts about that?
Okay, so the whole issue with closing of Yale-NUS, a big concern was that this was a closure of the first liberal arts college in Singapore. And I have to admit that, okay, we've given a lot of attention to the sciences, but that doesn't inherently take away from the creativity of the people in the sciences. I feel that Singapore, in terms of its innovations in technology, is creative in their own right. I mean, we came up with the thumb drive, we came up with new water. So I think we are creative in our own rights, but just not in the creative arts. And the closure of the liberal arts college is a little concerning if you think about the fact that the new foreign investments that are coming in will be coming in from media companies like maybe like Netflix, or Warner Brothers, and the new gaming companies. These are people who, and with Singapore, our only resources being our brilliant minds that we can give them, the closing of the liberal arts college might not be a very good signal to be putting out at the moment, because you would need the brains that are tuned to this kind of creative thinking in that kind of field so that you can attract these investments.
One of the reasons for the liberal arts, I mean, Yale-NUS closure is also funding. Is it so? Do people see value in creativity? I mean, if they're not funding it, isn't that an indicator that, well, we don't think much of this anyway?
The Singapore government gets a really bad rep for not promoting the creative arts. They say, oh, you're always like telling us that we should do the sciences, but you're not doing enough for the creative arts. But I feel that I just came out from junior college, and I remember my secondary school education quite well. And I know that there isn't really a demand from both parents and students for creative arts. And I can understand why the creative arts scene in Singapore isn't doing that well, because there isn't an infrastructure to support it. Yes, the government can do a lot of things to help out, but if the demand is not there,
There's no emphasis for creativity. It isn't high on the priority list.
yeah, I don't think it's high for the priority list, because um, in any, if I go into any industry, there are two factors that probably helps in my decision in going to the industry. The first one would be reward, right? Whether I can be paid well enough to do well in Singapore. I don't want to just survive in Singapore. I want to do well. And whether there is passion for me to go into that. So maybe if lawyers, they must have a natural passion, even if they don't. But I'm sure most lawyers have a natural passion for the subject. And in Singapore, the infrastructure is there for people who are in places like studies like economics, the law, math, science. The know-how is there for them to succeed. You can easily find the education that you need, the support that you need in terms of A-star and everything for you to succeed as a lawyer, as a scientist. But as a creative, the reward maybe not there. The passion, I'm sure that all artists have a passion, and I am passionate about my art, but there isn't the demand, there isn't the people willing to look at it. So it is extremely difficult to make it big as a creative in Singapore.